So Joseph Musey II, why do you continue pushing this whole martial arts, this whole health thing? I mean, you're 53 years old, you've been doing this your whole life. What is it so important that you have to try to proliferate this message? That's a good question, right? So me being Joseph Musey II, 53 years old, of course, initially, as a youngster, everything I did was for me. It was for my benefit. It was for my growth and for my edification. Okay. But, even at an early age, I would say, even in my, 20, 21 years old, I was already teaching people what I was learning. And first and foremost, not everybody's qualified to be a teacher, although everybody can teach. And when I say qualified, there is a way to teach people. There is a method that one must use to teach people. You have to be empathetic and sympathetic with people. You have to love people. You have to love to help people. And I think that that's one of the biggest things here. If you were to ask me why I push day in, day out, for all of these years, why don't I just be satisfied with it benefiting me, myself, and I? Why am I not just pleased and happy with just leaving it at me? Why do I have to try to push this whole health, workout, eating, regimen on people? Well, I'll tell you, first and foremost, I do care about people. I love the human race. And I'm very, very, very sympathetic, empathetic to people. I study people. I look at people in the mall. I look at people walking in the streets. I look at people waiting for the bus. I look at people in the train. And, I feel their pains, I feel their angsts, I feel their energy, and it affects me, emotionally. It affects me because I know that they want more. Now, training, working out in general, it's not the end all be all. But one thing I do believe is that there is this symbiotic flow between the exterior and the interior, just like yin and yang. You have your black, you have your white, and they're coupled together perfectly, but there is that in-between line that separates them. And I don't even like to use the word separate. I like to use it more as defines. It defines this side and that side of who you are, the inside, the outside of who you are, the emotional and non-emotional part of you. Now, that being said, we're held in a yin and yang. You're held together by that circle, which I believe is that unity that we have between our mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, all of that compacted together. So when I'm out there, trying to promulgate the word of health and physical fitness and martial arts, I'm doing it because I understand the human psyche. I understand the importance and the relevance of having structure in your life that will permeate not just internally, but physically, outwardly, not just for your own self, but for the benefit of everybody around you. So whether you have family or you have close friends, siblings, or even in an environment of in the workforce, it's important that you become and radiate that thing that you espouse. So for me, training is something I can talk to anybody about. Now, if you hate working out, if you absolutely hate even thinking about any type of martial arts, I don't want to hurt anybody, I don't want to hit anybody, I'm not even thinking about fighting, I'm not thinking about combat, I wouldn't think about it that way. The way I think about it, like I said, there was an old proverb, as a man thinketh, so is he. Meaning, so how you think, and that's inside of you. And by the way, that's intangible becoming tangible. These are the things that will showcase how you live your life in every arena in your life. Okay, so this isn't just okay, this, I'm a martial artist and this is what I do and this is all I am and this is no, that should permeate into, well, what discipline and structure have you learned and are able to apply into your relationships, into your workforce, into, if you're an entrepreneur, like, how do you distribute your time in a way that's a little bit more systematic, a little bit more potent for you. And to me, when I look at, and I say to me all the time because, you know, I don't like to impose anything on anyone, although I do understand human nature and I do understand the human psyche, and I do understand that all of us, every single one of us on planet Earth, we all have a purpose and we all have an urge for more. And even if you're that quote unquote couch potato, even that couch potato understands that there's more to life. And as a person just sits and becomes sediment and just decays and starts to wane little by little, there is something inside of them, because every human body was created to live. You know, yes, there's strife in life, but we're supposed to strive for excellence because that's what our body wants. So even that couch potato guy in this example is always looking for something that will elevate himself. So for example, he's sitting down, he's watched all of the episodes of one particular series on Netflix or what have you. And, you know, there's been motivation in some of the things that he's watching. There's been ups and downs, emotions, this, you know, and he's watched the series. And that human psyche, there is a part of everything that he's watching in totality that he feels, wow, I would really like to be like so-and-so, this character, because this person is so blatant. This person is so forward. This person is so secure. This person is so confident. And they pick something that they wish they could have, but they just don't have that impetus, that catalyst, that drive, that motivation to just now take it to the next step and apply it for them. And that's where I come in. So I have been coaching and teaching for over 30 years, well over 30 years. I've been a leader since I was a teenager, and everything that I've ever learned, whatever I know at the moment, is what I teach. And of course, there are things and times where, you know, you don't have all of the data, the actual written data, but you have the physical, real life data. And these are the things that I like to espouse. These are the things that I like to teach. These are the things that I know that when applied to every single human being, they will be able to grow to another level. Now that level is going to help you to prepare for the other level. Now some people will say, well, why do we have to go through these levels, and why can't I just be happy just, you know, sitting down eating a bag of chips and ice cream and just doing what I love to do and watch a cup, you know, TV and with my significant other or what have you, or alone. And while that might sound comforting and nice and beautiful, and there are times for that, it's not really living. You see, living is movement. Living is growing. Living is learning, is whatever it is that you can take in, you would like to give out. Living is giving. And you're not doing any of that in a life of atrophy, in a life of just continuing to shrink. And as you shrink, whether it's immobility physically or immobility mentally, if you don't use it, you know the saying, you lose it. And this is what hurts me more than anything. I've had family members, I've had friends, co-workers, acquaintances, and just people that I don't even know, and I see them withering away and decaying and hurting. And you know, there's a primary effect to immobility and then there's the secondary and that tertiary, and these things just follow suit, and like a domino effect, eventually just completely takes over your life. And it starts with the physical decaying and the mental understanding that the physical is decaying, and then because of that your spiritual is completely lost in the sauce, and then the whole combination of atrophy and just dying and withering just gets you one step closer to death. And I feel that that's sad. I feel that that's something that I know nobody wants to end up like that. And although you may not think or believe or know that mobility is one of the primary functions of a better mental health, it really is. And if you go back to that yin and yang, one will feed the other, and it has to be symbiotic and organic, and it has to be in a way that you appreciate that if you can just move your fingers, for example, if you have the dexterity to pick things up and do certain things, for example, if you can just stand up without feeling any aches or pains, just the little things, you would appreciate that if you can do that now, that you would hope that that never gets stripped away from you. So what I offer to not just people, paid clients, but indeed to my family and hopefully to the world through the videos that I put out, is a way to understand that why you work out, why you do what you do is important, because it'll surface itself in every other arena in your life. So if you're not disciplined with yourself, well, then you're probably going to lack in being disciplined in other areas of your life. And that is where the sad truth starts coming in. I mean, when a doctor tells you, you're at 1% lung capacity and you probably won't be able to breathe without a machine, and that you probably don't have much longer to live. And while that is sad, and while he's telling you the truth, but you look at the doctor, and the doctor obviously doesn't look healthy, and obviously just physically exudes a sense of unhealthiness himself. You're looking at a doctor telling you what you should do and what you should not do, and you can feel and see that they're not even practicing what they preach. So I am not a bodybuilder, as you can tell, but at 53 years old, I do feel like I'm 14 years old. And I know that that sounds so pretentious, and it sounds so like, look at me. And that's not the area that I'm coming from. Okay, that's not the angle that I'm coming from. I say that because I practice what I preach. And whatever I don't preach is because I don't practice it. So when I tell you that there is a life that's waiting for you that has more than what you're capable of right now, more of what you're currently doing right now, I can tell you from example, there is. Now, lastly, but I'm happy the way I am. I'm fine. And I would say, yes, you're happy and you're fine now. If we are indeed evolving, growing, metamorphosizing into the next level of ourselves, you have to remember that as you get higher in these levels, let's call it, it's not for you anymore. It's not just for your edification anymore. If you are really part of the human race, then you understand at a different level that what you do has implications for how other people do what they do. You may not want to be a role model, but you are. You might have a child, a sibling, a significant other. You might have people that are just looking at you in the peripheral, that look at you as a role model, and they're looking for where you slip and where you go up, and they're looking for consistency. And I always equate consistency with integrity. So if you are a person who's looking at the very least to be a person of integrity, then consistency is something that has to be part of that. So at the end of the day, this video, even though I'm speaking to you mostly in a monotone, very subdued type of voice, I am communicating to you one important thing, is that at the end of the day, you do matter to me. You do matter to the human race. You do matter to the ultimate purpose that you were created for, that will fill a hole that nobody else can fill. And hopefully, so if you look at a street and you have a hole and you are created to fill that hole, well, then that plane just becomes a little bit more smoother and a little bit easier and understandable and digestible for people who are coming behind you. And that's what we are to be. We are to, quote unquote, lay down our lives for others in order for people to grow through whatever it is, what circumstances, whatever knowledge, whatever understanding you may have for yourself. And that if you were to teach and grow and learn for yourself, that if you care for others, you're doing it so that you can absorb everything that you need to learn and grow in order to push it out for others. And that's how we're going to keep this human race going, and that's how we're going to be happy ultimately. I'm very happy when even just one of 100 people take my advice, are really like set in changing their ways. They understand, they've put the proverbial mirror in front of them, and they understand that where they're at is not really where they want to be, and that while we strive to go to the next level, there's always going to be another level. And at that point, you will find out, whatever that level is for you, that you're not just doing this for yourself, but you're doing this for everybody else. And when you do that, you add value to not only yourself as a secondary, icing on the cake type of deal, but to everybody else that you're actually trying to reach. So I hope you like this video. Of course, I do teach at corporate events. I do teach one-on-one, which is my specialty. And when I say teach, you will learn the physicalities that help the mental, that help the spiritual, all become one. And if you take anything away from this and you're just happy with where you're at right now, I do implore you to at least purchase one of my books. I mean, I've made the prices so low. They're really bite-sized books that have different teachings in every book, but there is an undergirding, an underlying methodology and teaching and philosophy that I have that permeates in any of the books that I wrote. I'm writing my 9th book currently now. I have 2 books that I'm writing, so my 9th and 10th book. But the first 8 are really, any one of them, you would take away something, I believe, that will edify you in a way that you'll be able to apply something right then and there, like right then and there. I don't believe that change happens, a week, a month, a year from now. You might see the benefits of that change, but change happens right now, like right now. So I would say pick up one of the books. The link is below. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, concerns on anything, by all means, please reach out to me. You can actually leave your comments here, or you can email me, which the email will be also down there somewhere. All right, looking forward to hearing from you. God bless.